Hitting is a pretty big problem.
Ow!
Pinching. Ow! Any kind of bodily harm.
Huh, I wonder where they get it from.
What is this father doing?
Oh, nothing. Just, ripping his daughter's ear off. Today we're looking at Super Nanny due to popular demand. If you haven't seen it before, it's basically a show where Joe Frost goes to the home of unruly children with parents that are equally just about as uncontrollable as their children are, and she usually works some miracles with these families, turns everything around for them. But in today's video, we're looking at some oblivious, dumbass parents that put their hands on their children and wonder why their kids hit others. You got the mom feeling sorry for herself and shit, talking about how she wishes that she never had 5 kids.
I wonder what it would be like not having 5 kids and how much easier it would be.
But you shouldn't have been allowed to have kids, you fucking moron. And I don't even know where to start with this guy right here. Fuck this guy. It comes off really obviously inside of the episode that he tries to get his kids to respect him through making them fear him. I can't wait till they grow up and beat the shit out of you.
I really don't want him to spank my kids, but he does.
So this guy grabs and beats your kids and you just let that shit happen? If all that you ever do is resort to anger, then that's all your kids are ever going to do. They learn from you, you fucking jackasses. It's not that hard to comprehend. What just blows my mind the most is how surprised that they act and how they basically just remove all the blame from themselves. They're acting as if they just found these crazy kids inside of the fucking woods someday. Like, no, you raised them to be exactly like this. Every trait that they have has come from you. Some of these kids aren't even in school yet. They don't really have much of an outside influence, dude. This is all you.
Hi, we're the Frobrick family.
On top of being terrible parents, their last name sucks.
There's no respect in this house.
Where do you expect them to learn that from? SpongeBob? They aren't gonna learn that from watching TV, dude. They have to see it around them. If you don't treat them with respect and you only show them anger, that's all they're going to show you. They're going to act exactly like how you do. They're like a mirror. And who knows what goes on off camera? We've only seen what has been filmed, and the dad at a point in the episode states himself that he's toning it down. If grabbing your daughter by the ear full force is toning it down, then I don't want to see what you at your worst is, buddy.
Do not hit me. Our kids fight constantly. No hit. Hitting is a pretty big problem.
This part just pisses me off the most. Don't act oblivious as to why. Here's to hoping that Super Nanny sees through their bullshit, man, because they're not fooling me.
You're stupid, Mommy.
Discipline is something we definitely need to work on.
You just spanked him for calling you stupid? I can't wait to see what you do to your husband for grabbing your daughter by the ear. Usually I don't agree with parents being disrespected by their children, but in this case, the kid's not lying.
What is this father doing?
I really don't want him to spank my kids, but he does.
I guess I don't give too much benefit of a doubt.
Let's not pin it all on him like you didn't just smack the shit out of your kid in the last scene. Neither of you know how to discipline your children because neither of you understand that you are the problem and that you have to change what you do for your children to also change. Especially for the really young ones. Like no 4-year-old just naturally beats the shit out of you. It has to start from somewhere.
Oh, I'm not having that. I'm gonna have to go in and talk to this father, I'll tell you that much.
You see how they contacted Super Nanny trying to get help with their children? Yeah, no, she has to fix you guys, not them.
Hello.
Hello, Super Nanny. We're so glad you're here.
I cannot stand how thrilled she is to be on TV right now. One second, her life and family is falling into utter chaos.
Our family's in utter chaos.
We're just falling apart, and we need you to glue us back together.
And now she's stoked as hell to be on Channel 5. Like, fuck you, Karen.
I want you to do what you would normally do so that I'm able to observe. Given what I'd just seen in the taxi, I was expecting chaos. But as the family sat down for lunch, I saw a different picture.
Well, that shit's just not gonna happen. It's like when the superintendents would sit inside of your middle school classroom and shit sometime. All of a sudden, the most boring teachers in front of the class doing like somersaults. They got the entire class engaged when it's never been like that one other day in the school year. In other words, this family is not going to show you their bad side.
Can I try some of that, please?
Thank you for eating your carrots and not giving me a hard time.
It feels like this shit was actually rehearsed. Like they've just been sitting here practicing their lines for the last 3 hours. It's just so painfully fake. I mean, especially from what we just saw in the video. When actually, if you really think about it, that video's not that accurate either. Imagine what these people probably do to their kids when there are no cameras rolling. Why do you think these kids are always fucking hurting each other?
I didn't know really what was going on here. Everyone was acting so polite.
Huh, I don't know there, Joe. It's almost like they're acting.
Oh, it's perfect family. I think I'll just go, shall I?
Please don't.
It was very obvious that Everyone was on their best behaviour because of me.
Yeah, duh, but it really makes me question where these parents thought that they were going to get from just straight up lying. If they really wanted to change and stop harming their kids, teach their kids the proper thing, then they would have just been honest with her, shown her what a day in the life is really like, see what they can work on, see what they can do differently. You aren't gonna learn shit if you just lie. I think if she wants to know what's really going on, she should go and talk to the kids, because kids are way too open about everything. They will spill the beans so fast.
How does your mum discipline you?
She doesn't really discipline, and my dad will discipline us very badly.
I feel like that's probably the biggest red flag that could have actually been said. The parents were really about to cover this up too and try to act like their family was just fine. I really think that these two just shouldn't have had kids, honestly. Just why? What was the point? Why'd you do it?
Spank us. Drag us by our and he'll follow us up the stairs with a spoon, and when we get up there, smack us. And he'll pull our ear and give us hot sauce.
If you're dragging kids and beating them, I don't understand you. And I saw these kids smacking each other a ton earlier inside of the video, and I immediately just knew where they got that shit from, dude. I genuinely feel like if she wouldn't have asked the kid, she would have had no real idea that any of this was really this bad. This family was purely intending on just lying to her this entire time.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit worrying to hear kids talk about their dad's harsh discipline in such a casual way, but I wonder if he's gonna act like that in front of me.
Honestly, I really doubt that he will. And they said it so calmly because they're so used to it, man. They probably think that it's like that for everybody, or that it's perfectly fine. But just because you're used to something doesn't make it okay. I mean, I get a lot of comments on these videos of people being like, oh yeah, this is nothing. When I was a kid, my dad broke beer bottles over my head. It's like, dude, that's not fucking normal. Your dad was a psychopath. And kids shouldn't be inside of an environment like this. This shit is just toxic and ridiculous. And when you're getting smacked around all the time, a good amount of the time you'll grow up and do that to others.
And even though Dad was holding it down, my gut instinct was telling me that Dad was acting different than what he'd normally do.
A couple minutes and then we'll try this again, okay? I probably held back a little bit where I normally wouldn't have.
It personally really just makes me wonder, what in the hell does he mean by that? What would you have done if Super Nanny wasn't there? I think this guy's kind of unhinged. I don't know.
If Joe was not there, he probably would have gotten hot sauce.
Let's go. Let's burn his mouth, dude. That'll teach him a lesson. On a serious note, that's kind of fucking cruel. This kid's like 2 years old. It really comes off to me like he's just a control freak. Whenever he's not in control, he has to punish them. And it's really weird punishments too. Like, what is burning their mouths really going to teach them other than to fear you burning their mouths? This guy needs to just learn other methods of dealing with this sort of shit. Your kids will only fear you for so long, and you're clearly outnumbered by them. If I were this guy, I'd be watching my back.
Beverly has major control issues. If she doesn't orchestrate everything herself, she can get snippy.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's the grandmother of the family. Guess I was right. These parents are major control freaks, and they kind of have a problem.
Go get your homework. Don't make faces at me. Just go get it.
He literally didn't even do anything yet. What are you talking about? Why is she starting this conversation off mad? She's setting the tone for herself.
Said you need to study your social studies every night. And I know we've talked about this because I've told you that you need to bring your hello? Look at me. I'm talking to you.
You're yelling at him before he's even done anything. Come on. I can't stare in somebody's eyes while they yell at me, dude. It's just, I can't do that. It's not an issue of me disrespecting them or anything of the sort. It's just, I can't. Now, if I was a kid and I was being shouted at over literally doing nothing, that shit sounds pretty overwhelming. I can't blame this guy for looking down at the table for like a split second.
This is a huge test coming up.
Everything, though.
Stop crying. Stop crying. You don't need to cry. You just need to take a little responsibility. Listen to me. I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah, you're right. You're just talking really excitedly, and it just happens to be kind of loud. Definitely not yelling whatsoever.
What a cop-out. Mum told Emmett to go up into his room because she didn't want to deal with this situation.
I don't like it when people raise their voices.
And that made you upset because Mum started getting cross.
All that shit happened just because it was time to do homework? I can't imagine if he got a question wrong. I don't even think that he said 2 words to her in response before she started yelling. Then all the dude did was cry, because I mean, what, he's like 8, 9? That's what kids do. So he got sent to his room. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not like he could have been disrespectful. He didn't fucking say anything.
You both need to step up and take control and have that authority when necessary through an action of consequences that allow them to think about their behavior. Not corporal punishment.
Yeah, nah, I agree with this 100%. This dude acts like he's the fucking Fuhrer around here, man. It's really not that serious, dude. You can discipline your kids without fucking abusing them.
What is the message that you're trying to convey to the children? I'm just going to grab them by their ear And you know what? I'm going to hurt them and pinch them and lead them up the stairs by their ear roll so that it hurts.
Somebody needs to grab this guy by his fucking ear. That shit looked like it hurt too, man. Imagine somebody just grabbing and yanking your ear. When you're a kid too, this guy's so much fucking stronger than you. He could literally have pulled that shit off so effortlessly. This dude would cry like a fucking baby if any of this shit happened to him, but here he is doing it to his own children. This guy's never once sat back and thought about any other way to discipline his kids. Seriously, this is like all that he could muster. They should stop giving morons a chance to have children.
And you know what? When they say something that I don't appreciate, I'll just go and put hot sauce on their mouth so that it burns their tongue. When I get really, really angry, I'll just give them a smack.
If you're that fucking angry, get a punching bag or something, dude. Your kids are not meant to be smacked around. The faces that the parents are making during this conversation is the most annoying thing ever, too. They're just looking around like, oh shit, I never thought of it like that. She's not teaching you French, man. This is not some new undiscovered information. Just stop treating your kids like shit.
How do you justify doing what you do?
It's the only thing that seems to work for me.
I actually hate this guy. I don't know what he was expecting to achieve by letting us know that nothing else works, so that's why he abuses his children. And he said that as a genuine defense as well, that he sat there and thought out for a second, like he thought this was going to be a saving grace. Because when all else fails, abuse your kids, right? Yeah, wrong. You are a fucking moron. Why do these guys have kids? And 5 of them as well. There's no way that this is going to end well.
What do we do when Emmett turns around and says, ha, you put a dab and it doesn't hurt, doesn't burn anymore? What are you going to do? Put the whole pot in his mouth?
Nah, dude, when he outgrows the hot sauce, they're just gonna give him some molten fucking lava. That'll really teach him and discipline him.
What are you going to do when Emma Jo laughs at you because you spanked her and then she looks at you and says, doesn't hurt? Smack her harder?
I think this guy would actually evolve on to full-on punches, dude. I do not trust this guy. He doesn't seem like he can hold back whatsoever. When these kids outgrow getting smacked by him, he's genuinely just going to turn it into like fucking fight night. Hopefully he loses though.
What you going to do when your children become old enough to smack you back?
I'm hoping that they retaliate and jump this guy, genuinely. Under no circumstances should you be smacking around your kids. What in the hell are they going to learn from that? You're just taking out your anger on them. And the only probable future is them either being super afraid of you in the future or them eventually outgrowing that shit and smacking your shit, dude.
Nobody's thinking about that.
I am now.
What do you want, Eric?
Peace. Patience.
Too late for that shit, man. They're already pretty corrupted, but I mean, other than that, don't have kids if you want peace and patience. They have to learn those traits. They're depending on you to teach them literally every single thing that they're going to know, man, and clearly you did not teach them properly. I know kids don't come with a specific manual on what to do, but I mean, it cannot be this hard to understand that when you smack your kids around, eventually they're going to start being even more unruly. They're going to start smacking each other if they have siblings or people at school. They're going to do unto others what you do to them. They are a mirror.
What do you think will allow you to have more patience?
If there's an effective means of discipline that I don't have to go to the extreme, I certainly don't want to have to hit them.
Yeah, fuck you, man. If you didn't want to, then you wouldn't. It's really not hard to not hit your kid. How do you look down at your kid and fucking swing on him? And these are all super young kids too, man. Like, there's no way that any of them are your size. These parents are just some mega control freaks, and they're mad that they are not in control over these people that they raised to act the exact way that they act. Personally, though, I don't think that Super Nanny can just fix his family. I mean, they clearly have a lot of deep-rooted issues, and they have some parents that just cannot really take full accountability. Like, this dad's sitting here acting like this is his holy grail and that there's nothing else that he can really do as an alternative. I hate the way that he was able to say that shit with a straight face too. Like, he really thinks that this is all that he can do. It's not, man. You don't have to do this to your children. But that's all that I really have to say about this video. I obviously cannot watch the entire episode because my channel will go bye-bye. This is my first proper Super Nanny video that I've made. The other ones that I made inside of the past, I don't really think that they were very good. I didn't really put as much time into them as I should have, but I'm just glad I was able to make this video without having to be on some like kids being brats or something. I won't get anywhere making fun of kids, dude. But thanks so much for watching. If you made it to this point inside of the video, just know that it really means a fuck ton to me that you're able to watch through the entire thing, and that I'd really love to know if you did by you commenting on the video just saying Super Nanny, and I'll heart your comment as well. So yeah, thanks so much everybody. See you guys later. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Bye bye. Love you.